Greetings and salutations, Phillies fans, and welcome back to the Phightins Final here on the Edge of Philly Sports with your boy Matty B here tonight, doing I guess a rare check-in to the show, but it's great to be back hosting, and you're going to see a little bit more of me this week as I'm beginning to kind of trend myself back in to my show. I mean, this is my show; I created it, man, and I've been really kind of MIA over the last few weeks, and I'm sorry for that, but summer has been a bear. But that's not what we're here to talk about tonight. We're here to talk about the fighting Philadelphia Phillies as they head down to South Beach in a key late July 4-game set with the Miami Marlins, coming off that really disappointing 3-game set with the Pirates. This team continues to be inconsistent. This team continues not to really kind of show me who they really are. And we're getting, and the clock is ticking. We're almost one calendar flip away from football season. And it's time for this team to kind of figure themselves out, and they got to do it quickly. And tonight, maybe it goes a long way, or maybe it's just smoke and nor mirrors like it's been lately. But a 4-2 victory tonight over the Miami Marlins down there in South Florida. Taiwan Walker tonight becomes the first pitcher in the majors to reach 12 wins. That's right? I mean, it's July 31st, and we're talking the first pitcher in all of Major League Baseball to achieve 12 wins. Wow, what has happened? What has happened to pitching in baseball? If we're talking a 12-game winner in late July, uh, whatever. Taiwan Walker reached that plateau tonight for the Phillies as he was dominant. I mean, dominant in 6 2/3 innings, kind of keeping the Marlins off kilter all night. Phillies offensively did enough. Alec Bohm had himself a great night, another consistent night for Alec as he really kind of led the charge for the Phillies tonight offensively. Bryson Stott also chipping in with a late RBI to kind of push things into the win column for the Phillies as the usual suspects, I guess, are still doing damage offensively. And of course, the usual suspects are not doing any damage offensively for this football team, for this baseball team tonight. But the Phillies do enough, and they kind of keep the Marlins at bay with the 4-2 win, pulling I think now a half a game ahead of the Marlins in that for that third wild card spot in the National League East. Let's take a look now at how the scoring went down in Miami tonight. Soler would get things going for the Marlins in the first as he would knock a 2-run shot to make it 2-0 Marlins. But then Rojas would double in Brandon Marsh and Trey Turner in the fourth inning to tie things up at 2. Bryson Stott, that aforementioned sac fly late in the seventh inning, knocking in Kyle Schwarber to make it 3-2. And then Alec Bohm capping off his night with an RBI single in the eighth to give a little insurance, making it 4-2. And that's really all the Phillies needed because of the pitching tonight, highlighted by, as I mentioned, Taiwan Walker, the first 12-game winner in the majors, 6.5, 6 hits, 2 runs. They were earned. He walked 2 and he gave up, and he struck out 4. Did give up a home run. Matt Strom, Hoffman, and Craig Kimbrell would mop it up for the Phillies. Kimbrell picking up to save his 18th on the year as the Phillies handled their business against Cabrera and the Marlins. Cabrera only managed to stick around for 3 innings, gave up 2 hits. They were 2 runs, 2 earned. He walked 6, and he struck out 3. The Phillies worked 10 walks from the Marlins pitching staff tonight. First time the Phillies have gotten 10 walks from any pitching staff since 2019, showing great plate discipline, which is nice. Nice to see that from the Phightins as they walk that as they were able to get 10 walks out of the Florida out of the Miami Marlin pitching staff tonight. Offensively for the Phillies, let's go over some of these numbers. Kyle Schwarber continuing to befuddle me in that leadoff spot tonight, 0 for 3 with a run. He did score a run because he got on base twice. He walked twice. He did strike out once. His average is now plummeting down to 182. Alec Bohm, the offensive hero, far and away the offensive hero for me, 2 for 3 with an RBI, 2 walks. Bryce Harper, 1 for 5. JT, 1 for 3. Bryson Stott, 0 for 4. Turner, 1 for 4, but he did pick up a hit, and he did score a run, and he got on base twice. So maybe we're moving in the right direction, and he made some nice defensive plays too. So a better night in all for Trey Turner in the Phillies. Brandon Marsh, 1 for 2. Jake Cave and Rojas had himself a great night. I guess maybe you can give him offensive MVP nod honors for the evening. 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs, helping out the Phillies in their effort. Walter chiming in. Walter, how you been, man? It's been a while. Trey Turner did some good. Yeah, he did. I listen. I'm Walter. I'm not out on Trey Turner. I've never been. I think Trey Turner it was a great move, and I think it will be a great move. Um, I don't know why he's struggling both offensively and defensively, but tonight, we one good thing about baseball, right? We kind of turn the page pretty quickly. It's next day. So you kind of forget what you did bad, and you also kind of forget what you did good. So Trey Turner is going to have, and he's had an ample opportunity to work himself out of it. Trey Turner is not my concern here with this team offensively. You guys already know who my concern is. Kyle Schwarber in that 182 leadoff batting average. But Trey Turner did enough. I mean, I say Trey Turner is trending hopefully in the right direction for this team. We're going to need him. We're going to need him in a revamped Bryce Harper, who's playing very well into the latter part of July for this team. But we're going to need both of them individuals in a big way. I mean, we're going to need them all, right? We're going to need them all, but we're definitely going to need Turner and Harper in a big way heading down the stretch because that's what we're at, folks. We're coming into the stretch run of the 2023 baseball season. August is put your money in the center of the table month in the MLB. So we're here, and now it's time for the Phillies to finally show us and the world who in the hell they really are. Because it's time. It is time. Steven checking in with I really thought would move up and more in the lineup. Bohm seems to have have written on him. No, Steven, listen, this lineup it's an enigma wrapped around a puzzle inside of a riddle. Why they can't figure it out, I don't know why. I don't necessarily think Stott might be somehow maybe in a few years your prototypical new leadoff man in Major League Baseball. I wouldn't give him that responsibility now. I'm telling you, the responsibility to lead off this team is Trey Turner's, and it should be given back to him. Trey Turner is the leadoff guy. I understand he's struggling. But you know what? When you're batting a guy at 182 in the leadoff spot who's been struggling for about a year and a half now, or for almost a season for the Phillies, what's the rationale around that? Move Trey Turner back into that leadoff spot. Let him work those things out. Bryson Stott, his day will come. I'm liking the damage he's doing down there in the bottom of the lineup. Leave him down there. That's where I want him. His day will come, but it's not right now. Not with the type of firepower we supposedly have on this team right now. So Trey Turner needs to go back up in that leadoff spot for my money. Put Alec Bohm at 2, Bryce Harper at 3, and then whatever the rest of the way down. But Stott's day will come, and he's earned it, and he's earning it. But let's kind of pump the brakes on him a little bit. Matty B, yes, it is me back from the beyond. Walter says, and wow, the Phillies got a sack bunt down JK with yeah, definitely. Listen, Walter, it was a cleaner game across the board for this team. Based on what we saw yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday in Pittsburgh. Was it yesterday? What's today? Monday? Yeah, it was yesterday in Pittsburgh. It was a lot cleaner game across the board for this team. Fundamentally, this team kind of went away over the weekend, and then they found themselves tonight. And I, I don't know why we're sitting here talking about a Major League Baseball playing better fundamental baseball, but it is what it is. We'll take it what we can. Again, who are they? Who are the Philadelphia Phillies? Walter, I need to know. And hopefully tonight was the step in that direction. This team needs to get their heads right. Yep, they do. Absolutely. Brian chiming in. He just joined in. Do the Phils make a move before the deadline? Brian, that is the question of the hour as we are getting close to that deadline. I believe 6 p.m. tomorrow. And the Phillies have yet to make a move. I don't know. And if they do, what is that move? Is it a pitching move? Is it a bullpen depth move? Is it a bat, a right-handed power bat? I don't know. I've had um, my opinion about that. I was always kind of on the fifth starter side of things. Really think that the team went in with the wrong plan to start the season with their pitching rotation and really bit them in the ass for the most part. Most of the season, this started to kind of balance itself out now, but I've kind of moved off that, and I'm kind of in that camp of a right-handed power bat. We definitely need that. This offense is just. I'm tired of being befuddled by this offense. I'm tired of this inconsistent offense. We need something in there to kind of wake everybody up, challenge somebody, put them on notice, do something. But we need to revamp this offense because there's just too much inconsistency. for the amount of money we're paying these guys, and two, the pedigree as some of these guys are. So I'm in the camp of offense, and it better be done because right now I'm not really certain if this team is a playoff team. They definitely need to strengthen up their offense moving forward. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, the trade deadline, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, will be the 2023 MLB trade deadline. Do the Phillies make a move or do they not? I say they do. I don't know if it's a needle mover, but I say they do make a move. Jeff hitting it. I wish they would go after Goldschmidt. Um, Yeah, I guess. I mean, what's the other one? Arenado from the Cardinals. I mean, yeah, but I'm actually looking at Cody Bellinger. I think Bellinger would be the guy that I would go for, or Shohei Ohtani, or Juan Soto. But obviously, I think those players are going to cost a way too much what the Phillies want to give. I think you might be able to get Bellinger away from the Cubs. And Bellinger's serviceable, man. You know, he will hit home runs. So again, when you're batting 182 and you're at this top of our lineup because all he does is hit home runs. I don't want to hear anybody telling me about I don't want Cody Bellinger because he strikes out too much. I don't want to hear any of that. So, but I'm in the Cody Bellinger side of things. I would like to see him here. Steven says this past weekend really irked me more than he thought it would. They looked lost before, but there was something extra irresponsible. Steven, extra? Come on, man. This has been like this all season. It's they're good for a little while and then they go down in this pit of despair. They lose games to teams that they should win. They beat the teams that they shouldn't, beat. Exercise in inconsistency, my friend. I mean, this team does not. There is no consistency about this team. They're up, they're down, they're up, they're down. They haven't leveled off yet. Now, when they do level off, and hopefully that's soon, because August is going to be a pretty interesting month for them. They're playing some teams that they got the Twins, the Royals, they got some NL East teams thrown in there. They got the Angels, the Giants, the Blue Jays. I mean, there's some really a cornucopia of teams coming down the Phillies way in August, and I don't know if that's the schedule you want to be able to right the ship on, but they're going to have no choice with it. They got to figure out consistency, and I don't know if it happens. They're in a position heading into August. They're obviously in a playoff spot. They are obviously a playoff team right now, or a contending playoff team. They have a chance, but do they have that consistency? Do they have that leveling off ability that they really need? And everyone's going to kind of conjure their 2022 stories to me, and I get that. But is this how we're going to really live? Is this who they really are? Because no one can really tell me who they really are. I hear a lot of conjecture and I hear a lot of hypothesis or hypotheses, but I don't really know who this team really is. And they got to find it. And this is the time. We're beyond that time right now as we're moving into August. But let's put a kind of a cap on July. The Phillies would finish the month of July 14-11. Obviously, coming off an 18-8 June, not really good. They kind of were inconsistent up and down throughout the month of July. 14-11 for the month. They've now won 18 series this season. Had an opportunity to win that 19th one against Pittsburgh, but they failed on that. But 14-11 for the month of July as we now get into that stretch run of the 2023 season. And let's refer to Maddie's, or well, actually, let's go up to some Phillies stats on this game. The Phillies 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors. The Marlins 2 runs, 7 hits. They did commit an error. Phillies no home runs tonight. The Marlins had one. The Phillies also, from a pitching standpoint, their pitching staff struck out 5, and the Marlins struck out 9 Phillies. The Phillies, as I mentioned, worked 10, count them, 10 walks from Marlins pitching tonight. It's the first time the Phillies have done that since August of 2019. And what I mean by that is 10 walks in one game. Phillies pitchers gave up 3 walks on their own. And the bottom line is they won the game. So 4-2 Phillies winners. Let's look around Major League Baseball right now. There's some games that are still currently going on. The Reds and Cubs 6-5 Cincinnati in the bottom of the 8th. It is 7-2 Houston over the Guardians in the top of the 9th. In a rain delay in Colorado, nothing between the Padres and Rockies. Bottom of the 4th, you got the Red Sox and Mariners 1-1. 2-0 Giants over the Diamondbacks, top of the 5th. Games that have now gone final: Nationals over the Brewers 5-3, the Rays over the Yankees 5-1, the Orioles 4-2 winners over the Blue Jays, and the Angels 4-1 winners over the Atlanta Braves. Next up for the Phillies, we're continuing that four-game stretch tomorrow in South Beach in Miami. 6:40 start. Ranger Suarez against Sandy Alcantara, who is having a bad year, but he seems to really, really, really ramp it up against the Phillies. So tomorrow, 6:40 start in Miami. Suarez versus Alcantara. Some standing updates right now. Phillies are 11 games out of first place in the NL East, a solid second place, a half a game ahead of the Marlins. As they are obviously, this is one of them series, man. This is going to be a big one. This is defining the series. Um, they are 11 games behind the Braves, half a game ahead of the Marlins in the divisional race. As far as the wild card, which everybody is fixated on these days for the Phillies, Phillies are currently in a logjam with it's really the Giants and the Phillies are kind of in that second hole, uh, percentage points ahead of the Brewers and the Marlins. As it's actually a five-team race, and if you really want to count the Cubs who are surging, you're looking at a six-team race for the wild card in the National League. It's going to be a really interesting stretch run in all of baseball, and the Phillies really need to figure themselves out as they get ready to kind of go down the stretch for the 2023 season. And listen, it's been great to be back, folks. I enjoyed it, but before I get on out of here, let's move over here and pay some bills. This is what we got coming up this week on the Edge of Philly tonight. Right, it's Monday, right? Yeah, okay. So you had Birds at the Round Table. You did some chalk talking, and of course we got some Phightins final with the Marlins tomorrow, attacking third. More Phightins final tomorrow night. I believe I think it might be me. I'm not really sure, but I know I'm on multiple times. And then everything else that's coming up this week, I'll be back on Thursday nights with my show, Talking Philly Sports with Matty B. As I mentioned, transitioning back from a very very busy summer, as I'm starting to get a little bit more, just a little bit more extra time. So trying to get back into it. Uh, if you have any questions about workman's comp, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, or criminal law, Dave Cherry is the man to call. 610-565-0300. Let Dave know EOP talking the Phightins final. Matty B sent you. He'll take great care of you. And if you're looking to travel like the pros, as I mentioned earlier in the show, we are literally now one calendar flip because I've already flipped my calendar. I'm a little quick on the draw, but we are now one calendar flip away from the start of the football season. So, I mean, what is it now? I think this weekend coming up with the Hall of Fame game, the first preseason game, we are now going to get either college football or pro football starting this weekend till mid February. Have you guys sunk your teeth into that one yet? I mean, I can't believe we're actually there, but yeah. So starting this weekend, we got football basically until mid February, and then if you want to travel and you want to check out the Eagles on the road, look no further than Philly Sports Trips as they got you covered all the entire 2023 road schedule. Head over there, see what they got to offer. But don't forget, it's not just the Eagles because we still got you covered for the Phillies. The San Diego trip is still looming. We got a trip heading out there in early September. So please head over to Philly Sports Trips and check them out. It is not too early to book your London trip next year as the Phillies will play the Mets across the pond. So again, have I mentioned to go over to phillysportstrips.com and check out everything they have to offer? If I haven't, I'll mention it again. Go over to phillysportstrips.com right now and check out everything they have to offer. And while you're doing that, Sherry's Ticket Town for sports, concert, and theater venue tickets, great prices, no hidden fees. www.sherrystickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. Save an additional 10% when you enter the promo code EOP10. And one last thing, if you find yourself in the Delco area, um, look no further than Dolan's for Quizzo music, great times, memorabilia giveaways, and you never, ever know who may walk through the front door at Dolan's. Give them a shot. Give them a checkout down there on 24 East Sellers Ave in Ridley Park, Pennsylvania, and all that jazz. So we are going to wrap things up here on the program, but let's get a few more comments in. He needs Steve says I need Ranger to pitch like the Balance of Whale Cliff Lee. He's it's about the high inside fast and all the low and outside dead fish. Let's hope he can do it. Let's hope he can do it. Absolutely. So Ranger's been an interesting study this year, right? Starts the season on the DL, IL, whatever. Comes back, takes him a few, I don't know, 4 or 5 starts to kind of round in the form, and then he really kind of hit a hot patch there. I mean, he was dominant for about 3 or 4 starts, but now lately, his last 3 or 4 have been inconsistent and kind of wishy washy. But you're right, Steven. We're going to need Ranger. We're going to need him more than I think, more than we're going to need any other pitcher in this rotation going down the stretch. It's going to be Ranger Suarez. It really, him and maybe Walker will probably be the brunt. Nola, I don't know what the hell's going on with him. Him, 24 home runs. I'm not. I can't live with that anymore. But um, I think it's going to fall really on the shoulders of Walker and Suarez to really kind of take this thing home on the pitching rotation, especially if the Phillies do not make a move for a pitcher uh, at the deadline. As I mentioned, tomorrow at 6 p.m. is the trade deadline. But you know, yeah, we definitely need Ranger to kind of round in the form, or get back into form. Because he's going to be really relied upon going down the stretch. Pat, what's up, man? Ellis, a big, big, big wins we needed. Yeah, we need them. We need them all. We need them all. We are in stretch time now, Ellis. We have reached it. We have reached the um, pinnacle of the MLB season, August. Because this is it. You're all the pretenders go home, and all the never will be's kind of sell off all their assets, and all the contenders start slicing each other's throats because it's time now, and it's time for the Phillies to step up and begin that push towards a playoff berth. So, folks, that is going to wrap me up. And again, it's a great pleasure to be back. It's been a while. As I mentioned, some personal things going on, trying to balance a lot of different things. But this is the show that last year I had a great time hosting on my own most of the season. But this year, obviously bringing in Pat and Al and Mike, thankfully, was the right thing to do because I needed them. Needed them big time this year, and they've done a great job. And it's definitely a team effort now. But it's time for me to get back on the team. So you'll be seeing a lot more of me here as we move down the stretch run of this season on this show and as well as on my other show. So, folks, don't forget tomorrow, Phillies 6:40 in South Beach. Ranger Suarez versus Sandy Alcantara. As we continue to get this thing going, Phillies now, as I mentioned, 4-2 winners tonight over the Marlins, and we move into August. It's on. It is on. So it's going to wrap me up. Except for one last thing. You know who I'm looking for? Harry the K. Where you at? Put your hand up. Oh, there you are. What you got?
He had high hopes. He had high hopes. He had high apple pie in the sky.